you and I, Adam, we talked about, why, like, we talked about Jennifer Aniston, like, why do we care what Jennifer Aniston thinks, right?
Yes, why?
Well, we should be asking that about O.J. Simpson, maybe, because he made a video of himself talking about the Republican debate. And basically, he was talking about our last guest, Vivek, and that he thought he was interesting. Here's a clip.
This morning I got up and I found myself watching Meet the Press. They had the Vivek Ramaswamy on.
I knew he'd fuck his name up.
Like the debates, the Republican debates, I said, hey, this guy's on to something. Then he'll say something. I said, oh my God. I attribute it to his youth.
And then he recommended that maybe he should pair up with Nikki Haley. Maybe Vivek should be paired up with Nikki Haley as a running mate. That would probably help him out. And OJ said that he considers himself a libertarian, not a Republican or a Democrat. But is it a good thing to have OJ saying that he liked you?
No, well, no one reaches out to OJ for an endorsement.
Right.
I think they'd probably rather have Beyonce,
sure,
maybe an Obama or something, an Oprah, but no one's reaching out to OJ. But OJ also said a bunch of stupid shit about January 6th, which was basically he sort of drank the Kool-Aid with January 6th as well. I don't know if he's doing sort of damage control by, if you think about when you listen to him talk, he attempts to sound like the most regular person on the planet. If you really think about his tone and his aw shucksy kindness, like he said, it's almost like, what would a murderer not sound like? And the answer is this. Do you know what I mean? I think he's pulling a Don King on us, Clay.
I watched the entire clip, and it wasn't even just talking about Vivek Ramaswamy. He also gave his take on the running back market in the NFL. Yeah. Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley. I'm not going to lie. It's like 3 minutes, 15 seconds. This is not uncommon for me, by the way. OJ has a show, has a clip go viral. Other than the double murder, I find OJ to be far more reasonable than the average person in the world of sports. And I actually myself sitting back, I like his take on Vivek Ramaswamy. I was like, this is not a bad take. And his take on Jacobs and Saquon Barkley was not a bad take. Although I think you'll love this, Adam. I have a good friend in Vegas, and she is out regularly around OJ. And this is evidently completely true. Girls in their 20s or 30s, OJ is just slaying them.
Wow.
Can you imagine if your daughter was banging Simpson? Like, and I just, you talked about how dumb people are. They know that OJ is famous, but if you're like 25, you don't know that he basically cut his wife's head off. Like and can you imagine if your daughter, like you call your daughter on FaceTime and she's out in Vegas and like she rolls over and she picks it up and she's in bed with OJ? Like he's right. And I just can't stop thinking about the parents out there. Hey, what are you up to? Oh, I just got through fucking OJ Simpson. Like, I can't even imagine the dad mom reaction.
Well, thank you for customizing it. So it was something I could think about personally and continue to think about. So let's just do the sort of infamous serial killer math. We all know and lament the fact that we have a culture where Charles Manson got much more potentially could have got much more pussy inside of prison than I could have got on the outside on a construction site when I was 23. That's sad, but that's the world. And so we all understand the concept of the infamous killer who is getting marriage proposals from inside his cell room.
Yeah.
Well, this is that, but outside of a cell. This is, what if Charles Manson never did time? How much pussy would Manson be slaying if he was as infamous and as noteworthy and as ubiquitous, but in a casino? He'd be balls deep in someone right now.
I mean, here's the other question on OJ that to me is always fun. What if OJ happened now, except like he was a 25 or 26-year-old running back? He beats all charges. Does an NFL team sign him?
Oh, I think we're so weirdly sensitive now to all subjects that I'm going to go with no. But if he did it now, we'd at least know, because there'd be a Ring doorbell on every single house on the block.
But I mean, there's a lot of evidence that he did it now. Like you can point to Ray Rice, whose career ended. But what I'm saying is, Ray Rice's career ended because he averaged 3.4 yards a carry, not because he knocked his fiance out, right? Like if Ray Rice had been running for 2,000 yards a season, and the standard of morality is very much connected to the overall quality of the player, right? Like, and I'll give you an example. If Colin Kaepernick had been Aaron Rodgers, like Aaron Rodgers could have taken a knee because he thought ISIS was being unfairly treated, right, and he still national anthem. Somebody would have paid him, right? Like It wasn't Colin Kaepernick took a knee. It was that Colin Kaepernick took a knee, and most teams are like, he's not good enough. Like OJ at 25 was one of the 4 or 5 greatest running backs of all time. Are you telling me that Jerry Jones, after he'd sat out of the league for like 3 years, wouldn't be like, hey, let's get Simpson on the rookie minimum? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sports fans are amoral. Remember, after Ray Rice knocked his fiance out, the Ravens, everybody forgets this, the Ravens let him show up for training camp, and a bunch of people wore Ray Rice jerseys to the Ravens game to say that they thought he had been unfairly treated. Because, again, sports fans, all they care about is winning, and they'll forget.
Or maybe they just want to go home and have dinner waiting for them. You know what I mean? With the Ray Rice jersey guys. That sends a message to your lady that do not get out of your lane, sweetheart.
Hey, Adam, women were wearing the Ray Rice jersey.
I love it.
And remember, the Ravens have a statue up for everybody out there who's like, that's crazy. There's no way that O.J. Simpson would have ever played again. Ray Lewis got charged with double murder, and they have a statue to him up outside of the Baltimore Ravens Stadium.
Oh, yeah.
He made people to death, too.
All right. What else do we got, Chris?
So let's go over to Chicago. So there's been a string of robberies, car robberies, in like 12 hours. They've had 30 of them, and also muggings and everything like that, to the point where a TV news crew in Chicago was robbed Monday morning while covering the string of armed robberies and carjackings. Sure. So we would have the footage, but they took the camera. They took everything. But happened in about before 5 a.m. Black SUV and a gray sedan pulled up, because they're just pulling up in cars, they're running out, usually multiple people, gunpoint. Give me all your stuff.
Yeah.
And another thing is the mayor, Brandon Johnson. His response is he's suing Kia and Hyundai, kind of like all the other cities.
They're making their cars too easy to steal.
Yeah, they're blaming the automakers.
Yeah, so we out here have city council ladies who are upset at Toyota for making their catalytic converters too easy to steal, welded into the middle of the car, at the bottom of the car. But I'm curious, Clay, your take on this. L.A., we got a problem with homelessness. We got a problem with everything and crime and everything else. And we had an election for mayor, and we went more progressive. We didn't pump the brakes. We had a chance to get a guy who was basically a Republican running as a Democrat, and Rick Caruso definitely would have been a law and order kind of guy, and we did not vote him in. And Chicago just went through the same thing. They had Lori Lightfoot, and instead they went more progressive. I don't understand what that is. It scares me for the future of the country. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I think what it ties in with is what I'm talking about. Like, it's a consequence-free universe, right? The whole idea of the marketplace of ideas and democracy in general is you have an opinion, I have an opinion, we'll both battle over who has the better opinion, and the better opinion will win. Well, how in the world is anybody saying LA's bad, I want more left wing and less competition for those ideas? Same thing in Chicago, same thing in Washington, D.C. and Philadelphia and all these other, New York City to a certain extent. My concern is it's because people are so committed to their team that the consequences don't matter because they're on the right team, in the same way that the point earlier we were making, like if a star running back is accused of beating his girlfriend, but he's a good enough player, people will say, oh, well, that's not that big of a deal. We'll make sure he's on the field. It feels to me like we've reached that world in politics. And I think partly it's that the media is now also culpable on one side in particular, but there are no consequences.
The people with the bad ideas are more married to their bad ideas because it takes more commitment to hustle a bad idea, to foster a bad idea. That's a lot of work.
Well, like nobody in sports media, to use my analogy, could make a living arguing that Sam Darnold was the best quarterback in the NFL. Not even Sam agent can make that living. But a lot of people go out and argue that people who are objectively doing awful jobs deserve promotions or deserve to keep those jobs. And the one thing I would say that is a little bit different in terms of consequences is I do think a lot of people just said, screw this, and they left California, right?
Yes.
There are tons of LA residents that live down the street from me now because they finally just got fed up. Tons of people in Orange County. Now, those people tend to have the wealth and the resources to be able to do their jobs from different parts of the country. So to go back to the point you started with earlier, the really sad thing is the people who bear the consequences the most are the people who can't afford to leave, the people who can't afford to go to private school, the people who can't afford to live in a gated community, the people who grow up in some form of poverty. They have to bear the brunt of the policy choices, which make no sense, so the rich people can feel better about themselves in their gated communities.
1,000%. And to keep your sort of Sam Darnold bad quarterback analogy going.
I hope he's not a listener. I know he's from a huge Adam Carolla guy. He's like, I got to get away from football. I'm just going to listen to Travis and Carolla talk. And then boom, he just gets wrecked. He's trying to disappear for football. So anyway, I apologize if for anybody out there who was hoping not to have to talk about Sam Darnold.
Well,
I'm sure he's
anybody who's made it to the show gets my respect. But I will say this, the time we're living in now is, it's like Kamala Harris is horrible at her job and maybe just horrible. She may just be horrible at everything. But she gets fluff pieces written about her by progressive magazines. And I'm saying the difference is SI isn't writing pieces on Sam Darnold about he's the best who ever laced up cleats.
Yeah.
That's the difference of the time that we're living in.
There are consequences in sports, right? I mean, that's what's so interesting. Like, you can't argue that an awful team is actually a good team in a barbershop. You'll get laughed out. You can't argue that an awful athlete, like we can debate LeBron versus MJ or Kobe versus, I don't know, Kobe versus
Karl Malone.
Yeah, Laker or whatever it is, right? But if I tried to say, hey, you know who I think's the best Laker, Peja, let's think, like Vlade Divac, most people would be like, Clay, you're full of shit. Like, there are arguments you could make that are so laughably absurd, sports fans would not respect you for making them in a serious way. That same thing doesn't happen in politics. And that is scary because politics is so much more significant than sports, yet sports requires more factual honesty in its debates than politics does.
Well, I was laughing with Dr. Drew about this on the ride in because in politics, our economy is shit. It's going to get shittier. I live in LA. Gas is $5.50 a gallon, and Joe Biden has put his name on it. We're going with Bidenomics on this one. Like, my feeling is I would want to get my name as far away from what is going on from an economic standpoint in this country, and it's all for shit now. But he's labeled it. He's put his name on it. Which
the bill to spend more money and called it the Inflation Reduction Act.
Right.
Like, you couldn't be like, hey, we just signed, I don't know, we just signed Josh Rosen to a $200 million contract, and we're calling it multiple Super Bowl contracts, right? Like everybody would be like, fucking imbecile. I'm sorry to pick on Josh Rosen too, but you can't give a guy $200 million and label the contract a Super Bowl guarantee when there's no evidence whatsoever that that's going to work. And yet you can do that in politics.
All right, one more story.
All right, we haven't talked about Trump's mugshot yet. So his campaign spokesperson said that the former president has raised $7.1 million since the mugshot was released Thursday night after it's booked on 13 felony counts. They have merch, they have shirts, mugs, everything. Clay actually on Twitter wrote that the Trump mugshot is now the most famous photo in American history. No hyperbole. What's more famous?
Yeah, it's hard to argue with it, especially with the immediate distribution.
But people were fired up about this, and I can give you, like, everybody will immediately think, and I thought about it before. It's not like this was totally off the cuff. You know, the sailor making out in Times Square, the Bush, I think, on the rubble of 9/11 with the megaphone, the Neil Armstrong on the moon. But in terms of historical relevant significance, hundreds of years from now, the first ever president mugshot is going to be talked about, and everyone is going to know it. Not to mention, I got to give him credit here. You don't get multiple takes. Trump nailed that. I couldn't believe it was real. Like it really is iconic in a way that I didn't anticipate.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're turning him into a martyr and messing with something we shouldn't be messing with. And the sort of the inflection point we're getting to, or the chapter we're in, or where we're at as a society now, it sort of seems like there's a bunch of really old atheists who are in charge, and you're saying to them, you don't understand the implications of this. You don't understand what comes next. You don't understand what our children, what their country's going to be. And they're like, I got one foot in the fucking grave. I don't give a shit about the Lord. And if the whole shit house burns down in the next 10 minutes, so be it. I had my fun. I was the guy, Joe Biden's the guy who's been in Disneyland for 15 hours, and I've been in Disneyland for 3 hours, and he's saying, shut it all down. I got to take a shit. And I'm saying, wait a minute, my kids are here. They want to enjoy these rides. He's like, I'm done. Like Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, like all these elderly statespeople, they all just seem like they go, you understand, you arrest this guy, there's going to be a civil war. And they'll go, I'll be watching it from my Barca lounger, drinking my Ensure, and counting the days until I die. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad analogy. And I this morning on Clay and Buck, I said, to me, the Democrats are like, I'm sure you guys have had a friend who got engaged, and you're like, this ends with you getting married, right? Like, like you've been dating for 2 years, and you're like, yeah, we went ahead and got engaged. I'm like, you don't really like her, like the process that you have started is you can't just hang out here for political advantage. Like once you file the charges, eventually it leads to trial, and then what are you going to do? You're going to put him in prison with Secret Service agents? Have people even thought through the logic of where this goes? And I've had buddies before who've gotten engaged after they dated for a while, and I'm like, I don't really know that you're taking the logical, like you're trying to make the right decision for right now, but you're not really thinking about what wheels you've put in motion. And that to me is where the Democrats are right now. Because even when you ask them, you're like, okay, so you can't let Trump get shivved in the biscuit line in prison, right? Like that, the Secret Service have to go with him. Like, what is this even? It's like a bad sitcom pitch. Like the president goes to prison and the Secret Service go with him. And then he continues to run for president. Like nobody's really thinking this through.
Well, I just thought it through, and they're going to have to go full El Chapo. Like they have to build him his own prison. And they're going to... What's that?
That's not a bad theory.
They have to build his own prison, and then it would turn out at some point somebody from CNN would find out there was a jacuzzi in it, and they would go insane. Right? They would go insane because pictures are going to leak out, and it turns out there's going to be a sauna, and there's going to be jacuzzi, and he'll have an executive chef, and then everyone at CNN will lose their shit.
I'll even take it a step further. They're going to decide that they can't actually put him in prison, so he's going to be placed under house arrest, but it's going to be at like Mar-a-Lago or Bedminster,
right?
And that's like 99.99% of people live in. And they're going to lose their mind.
You're East Coast, right?
I am New York, yeah.
How's New York doing?
It's good. I mean, look, I live within walking distance of the Comedy Cellar, which is what I want to. It's why I'll never leave New York. So I want to be able to walk to the club. And I like it out in LA, but I'm fatter than I should be by 25 or 30 pounds. And when I'm out here, I'm even a bigger pig than I am in New York. At least in New York, I exercise. In LA, I'm a complete lump of shit. I don't do anything.
Yeah, it's kind of weird when you get off your rhythm, right?
You're off your rhythm and you're on vacation. Even though I'm out here doing podcasts, you still feel like, well, I'm not home, I'm in a hotel. And I was just talking about this. On the road, so much of my life was sex and being dirty. And now that I'm married and I don't do that, I'm just fucking eating.
Yeah. Eating is funny because it'll be a catch-all for sex addiction or quitting smoking or quitting drinking or quitting gambling. Like, it's always just eating.
Yep.
It's like you may have been addicted to sex, and that guy may have been addicted to blackjack, and that guy may have been addicted to Jack and Cokes. But when it all goes away, the buffet's always there for all of them.
A ring ding covers all three of those things. You
right.
know? A piece of cheesecake covers all of them. And it's like you're in a hotel. You know how it is. You're alone. It's like, it's fucking, what am I going to do? I'm going to goon on Pornhub, and then I want to act out. So I'm like, let me just order Uber Eats. I'll order some Jersey Mike's and shove that in my face.
So for you on the road, it'd always be some sort of sexual escapade, right?
Up until, about 2017 when I started dating my wife. Then it kind of mellowed out.
So you could go and just go online and find the local whatever.
Sure.
Like, I've traveled with guys that are the rub and tug guys.
Yeah.
And there's just a network. Like, they know where to go in every town.
You know, not my favorite scene. I mean, I've done it in my life, but I never loved the rub and tug. Just because, to me, dirty communication turns me on a lot. Somebody whose, like, brain is locked in and they're being a pervert. Somebody, when you just walk in, they're like, hey, what do you need? Like, that just doesn't do it for me. It's not dirty enough for me.
And it's not personal enough or dirty enough?
Both. And it's also, I didn't know if the girls wanted to be there. And I'm not turned on if she's just doing it because she has to. It's like, I would rather have it be because somebody's making a perverted decision to do it with me. So the rub and tug places were never my favorites.
So it was a lot of verbal communication with you back in the day.
Yeah, it's why I didn't love Brazil. I mean, there was some beautiful women there and great hookers, and it was fun. It was with my friends, but they don't. The one girl I latched onto in Brazil, who I kind of fell in love with for a week, I never fucked. I just hung out with her because she spoke English. And so, like, I kind of treated it like we were dating, which we certainly were not. But I like the communication. That turns me on.
So it's really interesting. Like, I don't need the communication. I guess maybe we could do this. Let's try it. Let's see if we can figure this out. Porn with no sound. Does that work for you?
If it's a certain type of, very rarely, I have to watch it with no sound because I'm married now, so I've kind of gotten adjusted to that.
Sure.
But I think if it's something voyeuristic, yes. Like if it's somebody being sexual in public or at the bus stop, yes, because I can still get the dirty part of it. But just watching two people fuck with no sound, nah. That wouldn't do much for me.
What about back in the day when you would rent a porn? Would you have to scan the whole thing and then go back to a part you enjoyed? I've had this conversation with roommates in the past where I'd get it, and they'd make fun of me for I'd go through the porn, and I'd go, well, how do I know someone who I went to high school with isn't in the last 10 minutes of this porn? And that'd be the greatest day of my life, you know what I mean? And they'd go, you just watch it up to the point where you like what you're seeing, and you're good, right? Do you have to scan through it?
No, I don't scan through it. And by the way, the high school one at the end of the movie, you're right. But then again, that just means you have to jerk more than once. I don't have a limit. But I would scan up until the point because for me, I couldn't go back. It wouldn't turn me on as much if I knew it was going to happen. It's the surprise of it unfolding that I like so much. Like, what's going to happen? Like, there was this, my first porn was called The Fur Trap with Kelly Bint and Jamie Gillis. And there's a lesbian scene in that. He's a fucking classic, Jamie Gillis.
That's the greatest.
And Kelly Mint is having this seduction lesbian scene with this woman. Oh, should we? And I remember not knowing what was going to happen was part of the turn on. Once I've seen it, I can still whack to it. But it's like the first cigarette, where the first fucking line of Coke is always better than the second or third line. So I wanted to keep it like the first line of Coke.
Show me a picture of Jamie Gillis. Was he the guy who never opened his eyes?
He was a little bit heavy, had a curly black hair.
Yes.
Paul Thomas, you might be thinking of.
No. Those guys were. There was a whole sort of New York Jew artist kind of thing where it's like, that guy's not that good looking. He doesn't even have a big dick. And it's like, I'm a porn star. And it's like, I think they were like New York artists, porn stars or something.
But it stayed hard. Like Paul Thomas, Jamie Gillis. There was, I forget the Italian guy's name with the fucking balding. He was in Taboo American Style. There was Randy West.
Randy West.
Yeah.
We had a song about him.
He was the best.
Yeah. That's him.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
wait. Is that Jamie? That's Jamie Gillis.
That's Jamie Gillis. And Jamie Gillis.
John Leslie.
Jamie Gillis was into, like, he was a little bit rough.
Yeah.
Like, you could see him, like, sort of pushing the girl's head down and going, like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, there's, like, a little scowl on his face. I don't know if Jamie Gillis is still alive, but I remember interviewing, like, I'm trying to think who I interviewed. Like one of the female porn stars of
Linda
of New York.
Lovelace.
No, it was
Honey Wilder.
It was after, and I'll think of her name in a second. But anyway, I was interviewing her. Oh, it was God. I'll think of her name in a second. And I said, Jamie Gillis, because she worked with back in the day. Oh, I was going to say, what was that blonde's name? That porn star? Yeah, they're all blonde.
Jessie Jane.
Oh, God, I'll think of this and it'll make you angry.
Not Seika, okay.
That was after Seika.
Amber Lynn.
Yeah,
Ginger
it was
Lynn.
Ginger Lynn. It was Ginger Lynn. I was interviewing Ginger Lynn on Loveline, and I said, Jamie Gillis, like, he was always like, kind of had his eyes sort of half closed, and he was like, he wasn't beating women. He would just kind of like push their head, he'd be screwing them, like pushing their head down or something. And I said, he died. 66, 2010. So he goes, so I go, to Ginger Lynn, I go, was he kind of like a tough guy, or was he like rude, or, were you scared of him or something? And she goes, no, Jamie was a good guy. Jamie and I got along. We worked together quite a bit. No, well, I didn't have anything like that. And then she goes, oh, yeah, one time he tried dry on me, but she said it like somebody said he used the wrong fork for the salad. He used a big one, and
it was a faux pas.
It was a faux pas. Like, she was literally defending him, and then like reminiscing, going, Jamie, this is a good dude, and then drops the dry. Puts the word dry. In there, meaning I think he just was improvising a little while
he wanted to shove it in
while he was back there. But anyway, other than the dry, a perfect gentleman.
Sure, yeah.
Sir Rothschild.
He was a good egg. He had one mistake, dry attempt. But aside from that, he was a good egg, a fine man.
Jamie Gillis. Yeah, there was a whole like weird crew that seemed to just. They're like four guys who did porn.
Yeah,
and that was it.
Joey Silvera, who's a buddy of mine, and I love him because he shot all the trans porn. He's the best. He's a good friend.
Oh, he shoots the trans porn.
He did. I watched my first Tonight Show. I did it in 2004, and when it aired that night, I was at Joey Silvera's house, and I was in the basement. It was him, his girlfriend at the time, and Brandon Iron, who was another porn star who passed away. And there was like four of them upstairs watching, but I couldn't watch with other people. But yeah, I always had such an affection for porn people. Like, I hated when they were like mocked or treated like shit. It's like their job is harder than any other fucking acting gig. Anyone that's tried to keep an erection in front of people, it's very difficult. And guys like Nacho could fucking, his dick would stay hard at the opening of Saving Private Ryan.
Jamie Gillis, and who's the? There's one other guy I'm trying to think.
I'm trying to think of the
You
old.
mentioned him.
The old. Well, there was John. There was Paul Thomas. There was Jamie Gillis. There was John Leslie. Joey Silvera.
John Leslie.
Randy West. And who was the guy? He's balding. Not Harry. He was in Taboo American Style. He did a lot of those. He was a very plain-looking guy.
They had civilians doing porn back then. I mean, porn back then was like, let's see.
I'll tell you his name when I see him.
I need John Leslie, like young John Leslie. But here's what I'm saying. When you go back and you look at like the 72 Dallas Cowboys defense, and Cliff Harris was their free safety. He was like balding, 180 pounds, skinny white guy. Like he looked like a civilian. He didn't look like a professional. And so porn stars used to sort of be civilians.
That's right.
Like they didn't look like what they are now.
They had regular lives, and they kind of got into this, and then most of them got out of it. Some of them stayed. Tom Byron, what a legend! Tom Byron, did some great stuff.
I know all these guys. I want to see John Leslie because there's one guy. It's always bothered me, but he looks in the TV show The Flying Nun.
I don't remember. I remember the show, but I don't remember it.
The Flying Nun was a kind of insane conceit.
Yeah.
She had her habit, but she put too much starch in it. And it made like a winged canard. And then the wind would kick up and she'd fly.
Yes.
Except for she didn't really need to fly. You know, nuns don't really need to fly.
No,
you could walk to the next village or whatever. And she didn't fly like Superman. She hovered and slow. She flew as fast as you walk, essentially. Yeah. All right. Now, I'm telling you, find me young John Leslie.
That's him right there, top right.
And then find me the, from The Flying Nun, there was the bachelor. There was the rich bachelor who, like, lived on the island. And she was always trying to get money from him, and they looked the same. But anyway, all right.
John Leslie, I met him. I hosted the Porn Awards twice, and I was very starstruck meeting John Leslie.
Sure.
And he kept telling me how much he loved Mark Maron. I was so fucking annoyed. I'm like, I love Mark, but I mean, like, I'm a comic. And he's like, Mark, you know Mark Maron? I'm like, yeah, I know him.
How is hosting the Porn Awards?
The ones, the stuff the porn people laugh at, regular people don't, and vice versa.
Oh, really?
I did it at the Venetian with Jenna Jameson in like January of 2004, and there's like 6,000 people. Mm-hmm. And then I did it with Jessica Drake in 2007. It was massive. And now it's kind of not what it used to be, because it's all online and cam and OnlyFans and shit. Mm-hmm. But it was... I was nervous, but I didn't go with typical porn jokes and like imply they were all idiots, so they liked me. I did as well as you could expect it to do.
Carlos the Bachelor.
That was his name?
Yeah, it was Carlos, and I think he was like the Bachelor, and he was an actor. He's just good-looking guy.
Yeah.
And he always reminded me of John Leslie.
He has John Leslie eyes and a John Leslie mouth. Like the middle of the face is definitely John Leslie-ish.
Carlos Ramirez. He's got to be dead.
Good call. Wow.
That's my gift.
Died in the 80s.
Carlos did?
He was 57, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
The Adam and Dr. Drew Show.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. The Dr. Sports Five. Then, Chuck, do you put these topics here?
Yes.
Why do you put them on a pile of papers from last night? Why not put them in the stand?
That's a good question.
Okay. All right.
Would the right answer be, just so I understand your psychology, from now on they will be in the stand? You're correct.
I don't know. I just let everyone just do what they do. I don't know anymore. But here's what I don't get. What I don't get is the protocol part.
Yeah.
That's what I can't. You and I talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
Try to get people sort of just put the keys where the keys are and just sort of just repeat. You know what I mean?
Yes.
All right. But anyway, what do you got, Drew?
So you mentioned you liked something I said the other day on Kayleigh McEnany's show when I was talking about how the press is making so much of Trump's medical conditions, of which he does not have any, where they're making a meal out of dependent edema, which is just swollen legs, which old lady and old men get always, essentially, especially overweight men. And I just thought I'd bring out my own solar purpura. This is what happens as you get older. If you've lived in a part of the country that has a lot of UV exposure, you bruise incredibly easily. Even just shaking somebody's hand, my hand gets bruised on it.
Well, listen.
And I'm 15 years younger.
The thing where they're trying to do some sort of cognitive thing, or he closes his eyes during meetings or something. First off, here is the deal, everybody. You lose credibility and you look foolish when you attempt to do things that are sort of transparent and seem like there's an agenda. And also, as I was yelling at Andrew yesterday, CNN, MSNBC, whoever, ladies of the View, who are talking about Trump's decline or cognitive abilities or whatever that is. You have lost all rights to comment on this subject, considering you just covered with a guy who was severely impaired. You covered for him for a number of years, and you said nothing. So what
they said the opposite.
Well, said the opposite. So what I would like to say to CNN is, in college, programs get into trouble. SMU got into recruiting trouble. USC got into trouble. They get into trouble, and then they have a 5-year moratorium on bowl games. No more bowl games. You guys are on probation for a decade or 5 years. I don't know how long SMU was.
While you shape up. While you change your ways.
Well, there can be no more violations along the way. Yes,
that's
baked in. But you shall not be able to participate in this thing for 5 years. CNN, you have lost your privilege on commenting on the president's decline mentally for the next 5 years. You can't say a word about it because all you did was lie about the last guy who did have a problem. You should... And ladies of the View, you have lost you should be on probation just like USC and SMU and whatever major college program gets busted for some recruiting violation. Am I right?
Oh, 100%.
Thank you.
Yeah. And there's a really interesting, sort of a correlator to what you were saying. Do you know who Mike Benz is? Mm-hmm. So he was doing, amongst many other sort of exposés, he was doing one about a undersecretary of defense who, during the last 2 years, before the last 2 years, at the end of the second year of the Trump administration, the first Trump administration, put out a document that was explicitly treason. It was how to shake Trump from power.
Right.
And in there, did you see this thing?
No.
They specifically mapped out a George Floyd type situation and a January 6th type situation, but how to manage the press. How to make sure the press does your bidding for you.
Yeah, none of this would work with an intellectually honest press.
Or even a press that was independent, period. Didn't have to be even honest, just self-regulating.
Let me tell you something, Drew.
Yeah?
You are wishing for something that's not going to happen because there are too many women who have infiltrated the press. And women will let their feelings supersede whatever that the nuts and the bolts or the facts are. So here's the deal. Women as a general wiring. Well, let's just back it off. All right, you ready?
Yep.
Let's figure it out.
All right.
The press was exclusively male, all male, 100% male. Okay. And at some point, it became, I don't know, 60-40 female or something. I don't know. Every second anchors. I mean, when I turn on the TV,
think
it's
more.
Okay, it seems like more. Okay, it feels like more, right?
Yeah.
Okay, women, and I don't know if people think this is a knock on women. It's not a knock on women, but it is a knock on women for certain tasks. I think we need to understand that. It's not a knock on any creature, but some creatures are better suited for certain activities. You know what I'm saying?
I'm listening. You can make the same knock on men.
You can make a knock on men when it comes to certain things involving emotions and family and child rearing and stuff like that, right? Not cut out, not as good. Yeah. But women, and I think the science will back me up on this, have difficulty separating their feelings from the facts. So it would be very difficult to take a newsroom filled with women who hated the president and then say accurately report on the president. That would be very difficult. It would be less difficult for men. And then on the left, the men are more wired like women. So then then it gets blurry at that point. For the sort of God-fearing, gun-toting, God's guts and guns made this country free kind of guys, those guys have an easier time separating facts from fiction, or not at least letting their own feelings bleed into what the subject matter is. So if you are going to take large groups of females who have a visceral and blind hatred for Trump, but it could be for Biden and it could be for Obama. It could be for Hillary Clinton. It's just they have a very blind rage at this person. And by the way, if you think about it, all of it is unfounded. So you cannot be accurate in reporting this person because you don't even dislike this person for the right reason.
You don't know why you dislike them necessarily.
Yeah, you're already incorrect in your dislike part. You know what I mean? He's throwing kids in cages. Oh, the cages Obama built?
There it is.
You know what I mean? 3
ways to get rid of President Trump before 2020.
That's that's
Mike Benz.
Is that from Vice or Voice? I can't read it from here.
Voice.
Okay, so now we're going to ask these people, look, Drew, you could not get 10 women who hated somebody, male or female, and said, this person is auditioning to be first seat with the cello, with the Philharmonic. Now they're going to audition for you guys. I know you don't like Larry, but put those feelings aside and honestly tell me how he's doing on the cello so we can see if he's first seat. They couldn't. That's not doable for women. And it's not doable for some men.
Do you know how to
it's
do those
doable
auditions?
for me, huh?
They do them behind
blind, but they want to get rid of that.
Yeah.
Because too many white guys are better, or Asian women, or whatever it is. The whole point is this, Drew. You are asking for this. This has to go down this way. So now you take the news organizations and you fill it with women, and they have a blind hatred for Trump. And how is it they're going to accurately report on anything? They're not going to do it. They can't do it. You couldn't get a kid to do it, could you? No. You're not going to get women to do it. I don't even know Barry Weiss might be able to do it. There's a handful of people who might be able to do it. I don't know many other women who could do it.
So you mentioned Barry Weiss. Is there anyone else on the left that's like her that might be able to? There's got to be somebody over there.
Here's my point with Barry Weiss. I don't know if she's on the right or the left. Right. That's the whole point.
Yes,
she's on whatever the side of accuracy is. You know. Right. So
doing her job.
Right. Now the left hates it when somebody does their job, because then you lose your platform. So they want to blow up Elon Musk because he wants to wrestle Twitter away from leftists and open it up.
No.
So they don't like him. They don't like Barry Weiss because she wants to wrestle CBS News away from leftists and open it up. So it's kind of telling when they don't like. Basically, here's what they don't like. Hey, Minnesota, I want you to meet my friend. He's an auditor. He's going to come in and start auditing things. Can we see the books? Guess who doesn't like that guy? The people who've been embezzling for 10 years don't like that guy, right?
I don't even know what to make of that story. Do you know what to make of all that in Minnesota, the Somali thing?
Yes.
Is it all that it seems? I mean, it's...
I have I interviewed years and years ago a guy here for my Take a Knee podcast, my motivational podcast, and I don't even recall his name, but it doesn't matter. Interesting people, interesting insights. And we're talking about Africa, and it's like, when are we going to have enough grain? When are we going to have enough water? When? And he said, I said, well, what is the problem? Is it the weather? Is it the rainfalls? He said, it's corruption.
Yeah.
They'll never fix it because they have corruption. At certain parts of the world, the culture, the Middle East, things like that, they have corruption.
We're getting it here,
right.
for God's sake.
And Africa, yes, but they have a sort of corruption-based economy that we don't really have. We're getting it here. It's like we didn't have people selling stuff on the streets.
I think people thought we had a corruption-based economy here, and that's why they feel justified in being that. Isn't that interesting?
No, I mean, sort of.
Some of it.
Sorry. My mom thinks it's corruption-based because she's a loser,
right?
And she wants to blame it on something.
Yes.
But people that do well don't have that thought.
No, but I'm thinking about politicians that are doing egregious things. You're like, how did you do that? Oh, I'm in charge now. This is the way people in charge behave.
So there are places that are corrupt.
Yes.
And the reason Africa, the reason it's been 45 years since, Live Aid and African Aid and Christmas Aid, and we raised $10 billion. And the reason nothing ever comes out the other end, right? Nothing. It's, we did $24 billion in homelessness in California. We got nothing. Okay. Africa's corrupt. And the Middle East is corrupt. But that's how they roll. It's a cultural thing that we don't do. And it's no different than if you went into a Rite Aid here and you bought a 4-pack of C-cell batteries, that's $8.99. You wouldn't go, I give you $5.
Yeah.
Right. But in Mogadishu, you'd be a fool not to do that, right?
Yeah.
All right. Is it good? Is it bad? Well, it's bad, but it's a culture. It's a cultural thing. They have a very Somalia's very, very corrupt. So now you bring a bunch of people from that environment. Look, you want to drive around L.A. quiet. Drive around L.A. on a Saturday. Drive up and down the 5 freeway or the 101 freeway and look to the side and look at the parks, look at the green spaces, look at the fields. What are they playing?
But soccer.
Right. Are they playing polo?
No.
Are they playing lacrosse? Are they playing American football? No. It's hordes of Mexicans taking over, playing soccer. You want to know why?
That's their culture.
That's what they play.
Yeah.
And now there's a bunch of them here. Now, when I was young, they'd be playing football because there were 3 Mexicans and 10 white guys, and we're playing football. Now there's 10 Mexicans and 3 white guys, and they're playing soccer. You get it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, now, are they evil or are they bad? No, they play soccer, and they come here, and they're 150 miles from where they grew up playing soccer, and now there's a green space.
And they're playing soccer. Yeah.
Okay. Are you surprised?
No.
Okay. So then you come from a corrupt society, and people go, well, what do you mean? They're corrupt. I don't know. What do you want? Corruption in Somalia is pervasive. Yes.
AI.
Yes, consistently ranking it among the world's most corrupt nations. All right.
Affecting all sectors, public funds, ports, security, judiciary.
Okay. Find me the culture that likes soccer the most. And then when they bring them over here, they shall be playing soccer, watching soccer, and engaging in soccer activities. Okay. So then we move them here, and then they culturally hive themselves off. Now, if you'd force them to assimilate English only and all that kind of stuff, then we could do this. This is Google.
Scroll up.
AI overview. Right. Okay. So why are we surprised? Is my My question, aren't they doing what they did and what they would do? Now then, there's a second layer. Second layer are white politicians realizing that that's their constituency and not wanting to discipline them, for lack of a better term, right?
Right.
And because they're going to vote for them.
Oh, they even have voting corruption too. I mean, like political, vote manipulation.
Yeah,
Good
that's
times.
corruption.
Hey, we're here. We're there. Well,
Right.
they're
So
right
then
on time for our
white
country.
people realize that's their constituency and they need to back them. And then also people learn very quickly, as you would, Drew.
Yeah.
Stop reading the board.
All right.
If I sent you to Somalia, right, and I went, go to Somalia and start ripping off the government,
Yeah.
and then you go, well, what if they caught me, or what if they start coming after me, or what if they're on to me? Tell them you're white and you're from Pasadena and this is a hate crime, and they'll leave you alone. Okay? Tell them you're from the Pasadena, Los Robles area.
Yeah.
Old Town. Old Town. Tell them Old Town. Tell them white, and they'll back off. It'll scare them. Okay, do it, and then you would do it. So they play the race card, and the Tim Walz and the mayor, they realize their constituency, and also whether it's Gavin Newsom or Karen Bass or whatever, I don't know. Do they care about the money? I mean, they don't seem to care.
The taxpayer money? No.
Yeah. They don't. It doesn't seem to be a big
this
deal.
is the main theme in all of our government. They don't give a shit about what happens to what they do with your money.
Well, here's what it is. It's their money. You give them your money.
So it's their money.
It's their money, and they don't want a bullet train, but they do want votes.
Yeah.
So give it to the Somalis, get the votes, and don't worry about it.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Get a headache thinking about this shit.
All right, we'll take a quick break. Be right back after this.
According to the National Institute of Health, around 30 million Americans, men, experience erectile dysfunction. That's 30 million. Now, you are not alone. It is a normal part of aging. It also happens with sort of anxiety and substance use and medication. It happens more than you think, and nobody talks about it. Good news is Hims makes it very easy to deal with. You can get access to personalized treatment options like Hard Mints, Sex RX, plus Climax Control if prescribed. All online, no embarrassing waiting rooms or doctor's offices or awkward interactions or requests, nothing, no pharmacist, real medical providers, real prescriptions, all online, and it is all built around you, right, Daphne?
Start your free online visit today at hims.com/ADS. Find ED treatment that's up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/ADS. hims.com/ADS. Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products include compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
So I saw you going on about the myth of the nobility of the poor.
Oh, it was?
What was that? Help me, guys. What was the... You were outdoors somewhere. It seemed like you were... felt like you were in Malibu or something, maybe.
The myth of the nobility of the poor. I don't know. Drew watches stuff, but he doesn't ever write it down.
Well, I can tell you exactly. I can tell you exactly what was said.
Where was it? That's what I'm saying.
Two guys, two dudes. You're interviewed. You're outside. And you're going on a wide variety of topics.
Are you Uri Geller?
I know it doesn't narrow things down immensely.
What I'm saying is here's what normal people do. They make notes. They go Twitter. Here's the clip. You guys get the clip. Here's what Drew does. Go with Adam with a hat somewhere.
I know you have straight glasses on too.
Find the hat with find the hat. It's got a hat. I don't know what color it is, but it's on the interworld somewhere. Yeah, no, write the shit down if you want to talk about it.
Well, the bottom line was, it was something I've sort of heard you talk about before, but not quite as explicitly, which was...
wait a minute. Andrew does all the videos. Where's this nobility of the poor?
You didn't use the word nobility. I used that. You were talking about how you grew up with poor people and they were lazy and weren't so interested in working hard. And it was a myth.
They were horrible.
And the myth was this sort of nobility of, that they're kept down by the man. They can't do all these wonderful...
Maybe it was Rogan you were watching?
No, it was not Rogan. It was, it just went around. You guys are looking for it.
It just went around on what, though?
On Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
so
it wasn't
it was
the clip Joey
put up, maybe.
Yeah.
on Instagram.
They'll put it up there. Hey, it's not
They're never
important.
gonna
I just
find
thought it was interesting.
But we're curious now because we do all the video and no one knows what you're talking about. But keep going.
I can find it.
You can find it. Was I in the studio?
No, you were outside. And
Outside.
I would swear you might have been outside, like in Malibu, because it seemed like you were sort of. And I'm not even sure these guys were. They're British, is that perhaps? I don't know. I didn't hear them talk, but I just had this feeling you were talking to.
Okay. All right.
Two dudes.
Drew. I got it.
All right.
That is trigonometry.
Trigonomics, yes, that was it.
All right. You could write it down.
Yes, that was it.
Yes, they interviewed. We were. Now, here's the confusion.
Okay.
When Drew says we're outside, you then picture me standing up in Malibu. We're in a home.
Like a balcony or
We're
something.
on a balcony sitting down.
Yes, I could have said that.
You could have said we're on a balcony out then, because when you say outside talking, no, it was a house that was overlooking Los Angeles. Okay, trigonometry. Yes, I got it. So nobility, right? They put a clip out.
Yeah.
And what was I saying?
You were saying that this notion that we are led to believe that it's the state of poor that's keeping down these very motivated, very intentional, noble people, you beg to differ with that. That there's sort of more, you grew up with everyone poor.
Yep.
And the ones that stayed poor for a reason.
All right, well, so let me give you I went full Jane Goodall with poor people.
Yes.
I lived amongst them.
Yes.
And I was taken in as one of their own.
Yes.
Because I was fucking poor too.
Yeah. You were.
Okay.
They couldn't tell you weren't one of the chaps.
And then my friends were poor, and here's what okay.
Now there are, hang on, I want to go, one thing I want to frame it with.
Yes.
Because you've also always said that being poor is so much bullshit does keep you down. Parking tickets and impounding car, all the things that make it just impossible to climb out of. But go ahead, now frame it.
Yes, okay. There are things you can do for poor people, like not have gas cost $6 a gallon.
Yes.
And not aggressively enforce every part of parking where your bumper's hanging 8 inches into a red and the rest of your car's not, and they give you a ticket. When I worked construction and I worked doing earthquake rehab downtown, and I've told you this before, and the no street parking thing was always like 10 a.m. to noon, and there was no parking because we're in Koreatown and we're working on these multi-unit apartment buildings, and the old apartment buildings built in the 20s and the 30s, there was no subterranean parking. There was no code where you had to provide. You want to build an apartment now, you need 2 parking spots for every unit. Right. That's what the city's going to say, or 1 for every unit, or 2 for a 2-bedroom and 1 for a 1-bedroom, whatever. Back then it was 5 stories, 65 units.
Good luck.
Yeah. And so we were just parked a quarter mile up the street. But of course, the street sweeper would come from noon to whatever. Now, the street sweeper didn't come often, but the meter maid always showed up.
Yeah.
So you would get the ticket for street sweeping, even though the street sweeper didn't show up half the time, because that didn't behoove them.
Right.
But they raised a lot of money. So it would be a Wednesday, and at 9:45, the call would go out. Street sweeper, parking tickets, and everyone would file out of the building. And we'd have to go find a place to move our trucks. But keep in mind, now it's all on one side of the street.
Yep.
And I just remember one time I saw that the street sweeper had gone by because the tracks were wet. It was a wet tracks that the street sweeper left. And I went and then pulled back into that spot because the street sweeper had passed. And the meter maid pulled up and was starting to write me a ticket, and said, I said the street sweeper had passed, and I pulled back in. I said, no parking 10 to noon. I said, it's 11:45. I go, 4 street sweep. The sign says no parking 10 to noon, 4 street sweepers.
Yes.
And the street sweeper had passed, and we're trying to do a job here, and he's like, I'm going to start writing.
right now. And I'm like, for the street sweeper. The whole point is ask me when the last time I got a fucking parking ticket. 27 years ago. And I'll tell you why. I have a garage. I have a driveway. I don't live in a one-bedroom in Hollywood like I used to live off of Franklin, where I would get tickets because I had to fucking park on the street, and the street, there's no place to park.
Yeah, yes.
It is, LA has no public transportation to speak of.
Right.
You must own a car.
Yep.
And they're super expensive, and they tack, and they're all up. So a car,
But
gas
they want you out of their car, but they give you no alternatives.
gas is $6 a gallon.
Yeah.
The DMV, you don't get out of there for under $500.
Yeah.
You get a ticket for everything all the time,
Yep.
and that kicks the shit out of poor people.
Yeah.
And then you get your car impounded,
Yeah.
and now they got your truck, and you can't go to work, but you don't have enough money to get it out of the impound. They fuck your shit up. The best thing they could do, Gavin Newsom, Karen Bass, the people, the brown people, the poor, is to fucking back off on all the car shit. Everything is nuts. Oh, by the way, you can't afford the parking. You want to park it. You want to park at LAX? $85 a night.
Yes.
Yeah. You want to park at Burbank? It's $45 a night. Like, then you end up parking somewhere you shouldn't park down the thing, and then you get your car towed.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the money. So they fuck you up with the car thing. Everybody I grew up with was poor. Most were fairly lazy. Lazy in that you ask me what I'm doing this weekend.
Yeah.
Ask me.
And what are you doing this weekend?
Working.
Yeah.
Ask me what I did last weekend.
What did you do last weekend?
I worked. I've never seen any of these people work a weekend.
Yeah.
Ever. Ever. Never. Never Saturday, never Sunday.
Did a lot of them start with skipping school and stuff, that kind of thing? Yeah.
Yes.
So
they're all shit students. They're all did a lot of projection
meaning
and externalizing. They did a lot of externalizing.
Blaming.
Yeah, the teacher, whatever.
Yeah,
they don't
yeah,
like me. I
yeah.
missed a bus.
Yeah.
The guy bus was there too early. They're shit students. They're wild procrastinators. There's a substance part that's like part of the equation, like a little too much. They smoke, they drink, they spend their money on cigarettes and beer when they should be saving for something else or whatever it is.
Now, here's an interesting question.
They're very, by the way,
Go.
They have no delayed gratification.
Right.
They're completely impulse buyers on everything. They'll spend.
That's a big problem.
They'll go out and make $8-9 an hour, digging ditches, working hard, whatever. Go to the bar that night and buy 7 Heinekens, and that'll be the day's pay.
Yeah.
Like, that's how they do it.
Yeah.
They don't save. They never fucking think about what about next Monday, or what about next year, or what about next decade. They never plan. They don't say. They're in a mode of getting shit for free and like trying to rip people off. Kind of. They got a little scam artist in them, like a little work the system, a little. They're not criminals, but they're definitely take shit. Yeah. They have a little they have an entitlement problem, and they have a discipline problem. They're not disciplined. And there's just lots of like, I got my buddy a job doing earthquake rehab because it was $18 an hour and he was making $8 an hour. And at some point, the foreman couldn't find him, and we looked around and he was in one of the vacant units sleeping. You laugh. By the way, that's called a Tuesday. That is a fucking Tuesday with these guys. You go, oh boy, no. That's how they live. They work that way. They make bad decisions. They do not do delayed gratification. They have impulse problems. There's a little substance thing. There's a discipline thing. They're not really focused, and they're certainly not noble. And they don't give back. The last thing they do, they don't work Saturday. They sure as fuck don't volunteer down at the animal shelter. They don't do anything unless you pay them. They don't do anything for free. Nothing. No training, no groundlings classes, no learn to be an EMT, You pay. They don't leave the house unless you pay them. So, and they're not that smart. They're not that honest. they're not that magnanimous. Like they don't help the society. They're not good at all. At all. I grew up with these people. They're fucking lazy, and all they do is project.
How much of that is the result of being in a poor family that's stressed and chaotic and substance and blah 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 blah?
I mean, look, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
That's
and
kind of
whatever.
a just so way of saying it.
They're not stressed. They're not. I would tell them all the time, "Hey, man, get your shit together." You know what I mean?
They're not stressed.
No, they're
That's
unstressed.
interesting.
No, my buddy Chris got run over by a car intentionally, and he ended up getting like $13,000 from the insurance company. I flat out told him, I said, "You're never going to see that much cash again. Don't squander it." Like, you know what I told him? I said, "Get books and tools. Get tools. We're in construction. You know, we got to buy tools." And he said, "Fuck that." He went to Hawaii for 6 months.
Oh, Jesus.
He went to Hawaii for 6 months and just went to strip clubs, and then just came home after 6 months because the $13,000 was gone.
Oh my God.
He went to Hawaii for 6 months. I said, "Buy tools. Buy tools. You need the tools. You'll keep the tools." He left for Hawaii the next day.
Wow.
Gone for 6 months. Oh, 100%. That's all these guys do.
And let's be clear. Chris is a success story, ultimately.
Ultimately, but they don't listen to, and then no one listened to a fucking word I said. You know what they called me?
What?
Walt. You know why they call me Walt?
No, why?
Because Grandpa Walton was the guy going, "Oh, penny saved is a penny earned," and they'd be like, "Okay, Walt, we're partying," you know, and I'd go, "Listen, you gotta buy tools, you gotta save money, you gotta get the insurance for your truck." "Okay, Walt." And they just go buy beer and leave.
Wow.
I know people say, I ran into a friend of mine 2 days ago in Santa Barbara. My buddy Lance, right? And he goes, these guys sold their thing. They go, "What's Ray up to?" I go, "He does construction." "He still does construction?" "Yeah, that's what he does." I told him 40 years ago, "Hey, man, you don't want to be doing this shit when you're 60, do you?" "Oh,
well, evidently.
Well, they don't want to do whatever it is they got to do not to do it.
Yeah.
All right. So no forethought. They are not noble.
Okay, Walt.
At all.
All right, Walt.
At all. They're not noble at all. All right. Florida today. Oh, wait a minute. No. Florida tomorrow. That's right. Tomorrow night. Going to be Fort Lauderdale at the Improv, and then 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday at the Miami Improv, and then back to Fort Lauderdale on Sunday. And then we got a thing coming up with Brad Williams at the Sagebrush Cantina. That's, I don't know what the date of that is. The date is the 18th. Yeah, we're doing a live pod there. But that's fun. And that'll be good.
In
Brad's
the
always
valley.
great. Out here. Yeah. What do you got, Drew?
Go look for X, Ask Dr. Drew, Tuesday and Thursday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. On Wednesday. And check out my interview. Did I talk to you about my interview with Tish Hyman? Maybe next episode we'll talk about that.
We'll do that.
All right.
Till next time, I'm Carolla, Dr. San. Mahalo.
Hey, San. I've been working the TaskRabbit, just doing handyman crap because obviously I have no skills. Anyway, I'm moving this arcade game upstairs for these gay guys, and the other guy, was grabbing the bottom of the thing, I'm grabbing the top of the thing, and I made a top-bottom joke, and nobody got it. It's like, come on, man, there's nothing funny anymore. I'm the top, you're the bottom, or you whatever. Come on, it's funny. Fuck off.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
I know, I love that. I love a good top and bottom joke. Yeah.
Great. I wonder what arcade game that guy was talking about.
Oh, Mr. Fister. I don't know. That was the name of my gay bar. All right, Rudy, you got some news?
Let's do it. Pranksters in scary Halloween mask terrified a family member in a hoax that needlessly cost more than 100 hours of police manpower and could have had deadly consequences.
Oh, man.
A 911 caller on October 14th reported that there were 3 masked individuals making threats at her door. A video of the scary Halloween encounter captured on the home's doorbell camera went viral after multiple community tips helped investigators learn the 3 masked people were boys ages 14 to 16 who were 2 sons and a nephew of the prank's perpetrator, a cousin of the victim.
You know, Mike August doesn't make a lot of great points, but he did make a great point the other day, which is you go into the Home Depot and they have like a 11-foot tall werewolf and witchy poos, 12 feet, and it's like massive animatronic stuff that, you know, all I do is I go, God, my family would have never, ever bought any of that shit, but how cool is it being a kid today? But he goes, where do you put it all year?
Yeah.
Like, I know it breaks down. Like, I know you don't have to have a 14-foot werewolf in your garage all year long. Like, it breaks apart, but it's still 11 foot tall. Like, it could break into 3 pieces and go in a box somewhere. But, I mean, by the time you do the whole front yard, that's taking up the entire garage during the off-season. And the off-season is 11 and a half months a year.
Yeah, as a guy who every year at his house would put out a giant Halloween display, it's usually I think we had about 6 those Rubbermaid totes. We had about 6 of those filled, and then we had a couple of things that we just had to stack up in the rafters of the garage because they were too big.
Yeah.
And then if you really want to permanently store them, you just wait until your ex-girlfriend leaves you and takes half of it and doesn't tell you, and then you go out to the garage in October and go, son of a bitch.
She took your Count Chocula?
Yeah.
Wow.
And that giant wavy, wacky, inflatable arm guy that was Jack's skeleton version of that. She took that too.
Wow. That bitch.
Totally. Buried her ass in the backyard.
Did you a favor though? Probably.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Because the rest of it, I moved a year later, and the rest of it just went to various neighbors and relatives. But it's a lot.
Yeah. All right, we got the video. I think we can play here.
Act like he's serious. Act like he's serious.
I don't get it. It's Halloween time, right? Why was she freaked out about this?
Well, she doesn't know who these people are.
Oh, okay.
Open up the door.
Also, if there's anybody outside my house yelling this,
Open up the door.
aren't you just more laughing than terrified?
I think so.
Yeah.
Listen, you got to have a paintball gun.
Yeah.
Because you have a paintball gun, that'll separate the wheat from the chaff. You know what I mean? Because you could have Freddy Krueger out there, whoever, Jason, but 2 good, well-placed shots with a paintball gun. If they're 14-year-old boys, they're just running down the street screaming, right?
As we learned, a Rimfire 22, that'll also scare them off.
We did some Rimfire 22. Charlie Sheen, we took a deep dive, Rudy and I did. He was staying in my place last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why this has gone viral. I don't get it. But have a paintball gun nearby. And no one's going to sue you for shooting with a paint gun when they try to threaten you this way with the Freddy Krueger thing.
There is a new documentary called The Perfect Neighbor. I believe it's on Netflix, about a woman and her neighbors that after months and months of going back and forth, a lot of shouting matches, screaming at the kids, neighbor took a young boy's iPad, and then the mom showed up, banged on the door. Woman shot through the door, ended up killing the woman. And this is a good reason as to why I get like there should be you shouldn't be terrified if you are the homeowner of this. But this is also a good reason why you shouldn't maybe show this documentary to your kids and go, don't go banging on people's doors. I get that it's supposed to be funny and it's a joke, but hey, man, this is how you can end up with one in the chest.
Yeah, we would do the opposite when I was a kid. We'd go streaking. And streaking is sort of the opposite of this, in that there's no hiding behind anything.
Yeah, that's a hell of a Halloween costume.
Yeah, we would do it in the summer months, probably.
Okay, gotcha,
It's a little warmer.
A little warmer, yeah.
Get a little better hang, at night.
A little good blood flow.
But definitely been streaking. Streaking was a thing.
Yeah.
It was popular. They wrote a song about streaking.
What song is that?
The Streak.
That's called The Streak?
Oh, they call him The Streak.
Oh,
Ray
sure.
Stevens.
Oh, sure. Ray Stevens. Yeah. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
Ray Stevens was the greatest. He's been on the show because he'd have The Streak, and then he'd have Ahab, the Arab, and he'd have all these things, and then his big hit. I still love the commercial because I don't know. Find the Ray Stevens record collection commercial, because the thing that's crazy about it is they'd go, "You remember The Streak? Look at it. Here, that slide whistle, you know." And then they'd go into, and Ahab, the Arab, king of, it's the most offensive shit. And you remember Guitar Zan, and it's Jungle Band. And then at some point they'd go, and who could forget? Everything is beautiful in its own way. Like he had the craziest, softest, pro-America, pro-religion, whatever hit.
Yeah.
Along with novelty Ahab the Arab stuff.
Yeah.
Which is showed a range.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't want to see The Streak. I need a commercial. I need the commercial for like Ray Stevens' greatest hits, or something like that.
There were so many of these, like during the late 80s, early 90s. Like they had this. There was Dorf on Golf. There was like great.
This predated that.
Yeah, this was all. There was so many good sort of like infomercials to sell.
But it just cracked me up that Everything is Beautiful was a #1 hit by the guy who brought you Guitar Zan.
Yeah.
We need volume, sir.
Yeah, I did. With hits like... You had moved into a haunted house.
Nah, we need old Ray Stevens. This is like new. Yeah. This is what the kids do all the time. They give you the 2007 version of the commercial. We need the 70s version of the Ray Stevens best of. But anyway, all right, you can... let's see if I got it.
That almost looks like a parody commercial of a Ray Stevens commercial.
Well, that is Ray Stevens.
Yeah.
But, they ran best of... Yeah, maybe... Was that The Streak?
Is that guy still around?
Yeah.
Is he in Branson?
No, he's in Zurich. Yes, he's in Branson.
Boogity, boogity. And he ain't wearing no clothes. Hold it!
Ray Stevens has sold millions of comedy records.
Yeah, I did.
You've listened and laughed at him for over 2 decades.
Come and lay here by my side. Till you're the morning light.
Now, for the first time, you can see him on home video in 8 of his greatest, funniest hits.
Are you naked?
And you get it all on one hilarious VHS videotape.
You should have seen the look in her eyes when that squirrel jumped her garters and crossed her thighs, and she jumped to her feet and said, "Lord, have mercy on me."
You'll get the Mississippi Squirrel, The Streak.
Oh, yes, they call him The Streak.
Sitting up with the dead.
Fred just sat right up.
Surfing USSR. Santa Claus is watching you.
He's everywhere. He's everywhere.
Help me make it through the night.
It's easy for you to say.
And
Me again, Margaret. They got me, Margaret.
this collection also includes one of Ray Stevens' most loved songs.
Here we go. In its own way. And then right into Guitar Zan. All right. That's what I'm saying. A lot of range.
I wonder if there was any kids back in the day that were like, "You don't get it, Dad. This is our music. Guitar Zan is our music, Dad.
Ahab the Arab is our music. Arab. Yeah.
Oh, man.
He wasn't a great interview.
Really? You don't say. Man, dude, him and Dunham on the road together, that would be where it's at. You get Arab what is the name again?
The puppet?
Yeah, no. You get Ray Stevens.
Ahab the Arab.
Ahab the Ray. Why can't I say it? God damn it.
The Arab.
Yeah, there we go. You get him and then the Ahmed, the dead terrorist, in the same room, man.
Oh, yeah.
Comedy gold. Comedy gold. Bill Gates calls for a strategic pivot in climate change fight from curbing emissions. Bill Gates thinks that climate change is a serious problem, but it won't be the end of civilization. He thinks scientific innovation will curb it, and instead, it's time for a strategic pivot in the global climate fight, from focusing on limiting rising temperatures to fighting poverty and preventing disease.
Yeah. So, look, you're not going to do much in terms of getting China to stop emitting so much CO2 and India and a lot of these other growing nations, but you can have air conditioning and seawalls and stuff like that. I mean, look. Okay, here goes, Rudy. You ready?
Please.
Poor Rudy had to swing by the job site with the caissons in it before we headed to work today. I drove Rudy into work today. We live in a place where there's earthquakes. So I don't know if you just go climate causes the earth to shake to such a point where buildings come down and are crumbled to the ground. Okay, so we have earthquakes. So we realize we have earthquakes. Whether it's a San Andreas fault, plate tectonics, God, Ray Stevens, whoever causes earthquakes, we cause earthquakes. But we have earthquakes. So then we build accordingly. And we can build structures that can withstand a big earthquake and nobody gets killed because we understand, we have technology, we have engineering, and that's how we build. So we do that. And then there are places like Guatemala where they don't build to withstand earthquakes, and they have a bunch of unreinforced concrete, and then a 7.2 hits Guatemala, and the whole place is level, and there's kids, and they're trapped, and then we can't find people, and we need cadaver-sniffing dogs. That's in Guatemala. 7.2 hits here, nothing happens. Things shake around, fence falls over, parking structure, whatever. That's it. So we just prevent it by building a certain way, and we prevent it. Well, then there's global temperature. So it's Death Valley, it's 121 degrees. Okay, but we invented air conditioning. I mean, you live in Vegas. You can live in Vegas. You used to not be able to live in Vegas, and now you can live in Vegas because you leave your air-conditioned apartment, you go into the people mover that has air conditioning, and that takes you into the casino at Caesars, and then you walk around the air conditioning there, but it's 114 degrees outside, but you're not outside. You're in air conditioning. Yeah. And then you get in your car, and your car has air conditioning. Now, how hot is it in Vegas? Well, it's 119 degrees. How hot is it in Malibu? It's 80 degrees. I got air conditioning. You got air conditioning. We just set both of them for 71 degrees in your car, and that's what it is inside my car. Even if where I live is 50 degrees cooler than where you are, it doesn't matter. So you can build, and we can use technology to counteract this stuff and almost go around it. So they didn't have good seawalls in New Orleans. It's below sea level, and Army Corps of Engineers didn't build the seawalls right, and then the storm came, and then it flooded, and then people died. But then you can rebuild the seawalls so that the storm in the ocean doesn't get above it, and then people don't die. So you're not going to stop the sea, and you're not going to stop earthquakes, and you're not going to stop the sun and the heat, but what you can do is have air conditioning, seawalls, and caissons, and grade beams, and reinforced concrete, and shear walls. Yeah. And then it's not a problem. So just do that.
Just do it.
That's what I've been saying.
Yeah.
But they don't like that because that doesn't involve taking shit away from you. So that's their thing is, well, we'll get people in the Santa Monica area to stop driving internal combustion vehicles. That's not going to do anything. It's called global warming.
Yeah.
Like China and India.
As a guy who has lived in Minnesota most of his life, the thing that comes back is when it gets to be January and we have those cold snaps of, negative 35 and they last for 10 to 15 days. And then you go, man, pretty brutal out there. And they go, that's global warming.
All right.
Why? What do you mean it's global? I thought it's cold outside, but that's the effect of global warming is that it gets really hot during the summertime, and then it gets. I'm like, that's exactly what it's always been. So why if it's global warming, would it not be warmer in the wintertime?
Well, here's what I would say to Gavin Newsom and the ones who want to blame the fire on global warming. Okay, it's global warming's fault,
but it's the earthquake's fault too. But you build your freeway overpasses to withstand a 8.5, and then it doesn't fall down and kill people. So, all right, there's global warming. I'll sign off on that. So now we got to clear some brush. We got to hire more firefighters. We have to get the equipment up and running. We need to fill the aqueducts, and we need to get one of those planes that Canada has that drops the fire retardant material because of global warming, right?
Yeah.
Your thing is global warming and no water in the aqueducts? That seems like it's going to be. That seems like the Palisades may burn to the ground. That's just me.
Yeah. It seems like as time has gone on, we've figured out ways to outsmart nature. Between dams and windmills, we figured it out.
Well, I mean, air conditioning means you can work and live in places that were not hospitable to human beings year round.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah.
Now.
About half of our lives, we've never left 72, but our children have never left 72 degrees.
Plus, you and I were on a job site that was on the ocean today. The houses that were built along that ocean are from the 40s, many of them. Where's the rising sea again? PCH, and I'll point this out because we'll know it. We're looking at these caissons, these cement poles that are buried in the ground. The ones that were by the highway, PCH, where we were standing, I had to point out to you, I go, it's in the ground. You can't see it, but there it is, just barely sticking up out of the ground. The ones that were 30 feet, 40 feet close to the ocean were up out of the water about 5 feet because that's level, meaning where the highway is, PCH, to where the ocean comes in on high tide is only about a 5 foot difference in height.
Sure.
No water's ever been on PCH.
Yeah.
Water's never been on PCH. It's only 5 feet. It's over the course of, well, they were building houses there, but I don't know, PCH was built there in the teens or the turn of the century. So where is this sea? Where's the rising sea is what I'm asking.
Yeah. Yeah, I see multiple videos of icebergs that are melting, but my ankles are still dry.
Those lots wouldn't go for $6 million.
Yeah.
And after you're done spending the $6 million, the first 2.5 got to go into the foundation. So you're at 8.5 before the first load of 2x4s gets dropped off to build your new house. You're at 8.5. It wouldn't go for that if the seas were going to engulf your home.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, good on Bill. George Clooney reportedly claims that Virginia Giuffre's posthumous memoir claims that he was with, I can't even believe that I'm reading this, Ghislaine Maxwell one time claimed that she performed oral sex on him.
You know you're good looking when chicks are lying saying they blew you. Because I got a lot of chicks who blew me. They're like, who? I don't think so. I have a little something called dignity.
Yeah.
Okay? No.
What is that? A bunch of gray pubes on? No, definitely not Adam Carolla's gray.
No, not his gray. No, I have chicks lying about blowing me.
Yeah.
This is the other direction.
Yeah. So this came out in her memoir where Clooney's people came out immediately and said that this story is absolutely BS.
Here's what I want to say about denial of blowjobs in Clooney and why I tend to believe her. I don't know a lot of guys who turn down a blowjob. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So blowjob is sort of like saying, well, I played catch with Peyton Manning. It's like, well, what happened? Well, the ball went in my yard, and then I saw him standing in his yard, so I just picked it up and threw it back to him. Like most guys don't go, now.
Yeah.
And that instinctively, like you're in the park and the basketball goes rolling. You just pick it up and throw it, right? Like it's a guy instinct. Yeah. It's kind of like cars backing up, gonna hit some trash cans. Hands go up. Come on. You got it. You don't know the guy. You stop walking your dog and start waving the guy. There's an Amazon truck backing out of a driveway. You're all hands.
Yeah.
You don't know the guy. Yeah. That's a dude thing.
Yeah, Peyton Manning's got his mouth wide open. You're back helping him back it in.
Wants to give you a blowjob.
Yeah, of course.
Need. So she's a good-looking woman, and she's like, want a blowjob? And most guys are like,
Yeah, all right.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
So I don't fault a guy. And by the way, the history of the woman doesn't really factor in, like what she up to, how she vote, what are her politics, is she running underage chicks? It's like, hey, blowjob.
Yeah.
Right now, windows closing. Here we go.
Yeah, I would love to see any of these dudes who, walk around in dresses with blue hair, who still have a dick swinging between their legs, and a gal shows up with a mega hat, and she's like, hey, BJ?
Blowjob?
Yeah, what's he going to say? No? Of course not. Of course he's going to take it.
Under the tent.
Yeah. Yep. Passenger left behind food so
he's
bad.
saying he didn't get the blowjob.
He's saying that they have absolutely no connection whatsoever, that they've never met.
My answer would just be, look, I get a lot of blowjobs. So.
Yeah. A lot. In fact, 4 on the way here today.
If I were him, it'd just be, I get a lot of blowjobs, I can't keep track.
Yeah.
So possibly.
Yeah. Even when I'm not driving, I'm still getting one.
Well,
from the
where
driver.
did she say, she had to say she was at a party. Hey, the whole thing about the blowjob, or about this story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What's funny is that they don't get into exactly where that this happened. She did say, let's see, you know what? Really, it only talks about the fact that.
See, here's where I believe it. If she goes, look, Neil Sedaka's a close personal friend.
Yeah.
And he was throwing a party. And I went to a party. It was in Beverly Hills. And next thing I know, George Clooney's in there.
Yeah.
He's a friend of Neil Sedaka. And then we start drinking. And I end up in the bathroom and I give a blowjob. Like that to me might have something other than this sort of, I met him once.
Yeah. Specifics. That's what you need.
But also, when bad people give you a blowjob, I don't feel like that diminishes your worth.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say if I said this. You know, my grandpa, they got a blowjob from Ava Braun. Like, I wouldn't go, he's a Nazi. I'd go, good for him. Hope he dropped a load right in her forehead. Yeah, that one's for America. Yeah, like Inglourious Bastards. Right, like I would go, good for him.
Yeah.
That's not a...
Sure.
It's like an endearment thing. That's like you're in charge. Fuck her.
Well, I think to dudes behind closed doors that you don't lose any credibility. But I think if other women find out that you got a blowjob from a certain somebody,
so like I should stop telling everyone Marge Schott gave me a blowjob.
Well, no, actually you gain points, a lot of points with that. Okay. Yeah, a lot of points. Yeah. Now if it was Jerry Jones on the other hand, another sports owner, then
obviously I don't swing that way.
Yeah, of course. See, it brings you down. Yeah.
I got a clip that Dr. Drew loved, and I wasn't planning on playing it, but for some reason I'm in the mood.
Oh, I heard you guys cackling earlier today.
Drew is just, I said, I want to play. I had this notion about Gavin Newsom's all in the news, and he's always in the news now, and I realized my conversation with Gavin Newsom was insane. I had an insane conversation with him, but I realized it's me and my voice and Gavin and his voice, and so people are kind of like, well, you're arguing with Gavin and Gavin's arguing with you, and so who knows? Let him talk, whatever. And I'll just play the first 30 seconds so you know what it is.
Family members, money put away.
But think about
don't have the kids.
Half of African Americans in the state of California, roughly half of Latino families, have no access to a checking account or an ATM. Things we take for granted. They don't have a checking account.
What's wrong with them?
And well, because they don't have the resources to sock those things away.
Why do we have them?
All right, everyone's heard this, and it's always like Adam saying this and Newsom saying that. But I thought, if you read this like a transcript, then you would think Newsom was insane. Right now, it's my voice and his voice, and they're familiar, and you're picking a side or what have you. But I said, I need a transcript of this and have actors read it. And you probably should have let me set up, but that's all right. So I was working in the other room. I was over here with Joey, and I said, Joey, can you do some sort of AI thing where it's like you just get a transcript of this argument I had with Newsom, and then we'll have AI or actors or somebody read it, and that way we can hear it more clearly. And he said, well, there's no real AI actor voice. The only one there is Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
So I said, all right, well, make Burt Reynolds Gavin Newsom.
in this scenario, and then make me a chick. I want to be like a sensible NPR chick. So Adam Carolla is going to ask the exact, it's verbatim, it's a transcript of our dialogue, but my voice has now been taken over by an NPR sensible chick, and Gavin Newsom's voice has been taken over by Burt Reynolds. And here's what that sounds like.
Half of African Americans in the state of California, roughly half of Latino families have no access to a checking account or an ATM, things we take for granted. They don't have a checking account.
What's wrong with them?
Well, because they don't have the resources to sock those things away.
Why do we have them?
A lot of different reasons, but roughly half those families don't.
Why do Armenians have them?
But where they end up is a check cashing place.
But I want to know, why those groups? Why do those two groups not have access?
Just happens to be that we can talk about...
Are they flawed?
No, they're hardly flawed, but they're struggling.
Genetically flawed?
Hardly. Absolutely not.
Do Asians have this problem?
I mean, a lot of communities have problems. A lot of whites have these problems.
All right, pause it for a second. So you will realize that Burt Reynolds sounds insane.
Yeah.
In this conversation. Now, Gavin Newsom doesn't because he's arguing with me and people don't like me. But when he's arguing with the sensible NPR chick, he now Burt Reynolds sounds nuts. All right. So, and listen, I love it when he just goes, it just is. You know, it's like, why are they at the check cash? That's just that's how it is. Like, oh, thank you, problem solver. That's right. We need more like guys like you in charge who can just bring up a problem and then go, It just is. All right, sorry. We'll continue.
A lot of communities have problems. A lot of whites have these problems.
So it's not just black and Hispanic?
No, but
Well, why did you bring up black and Hispanic?
Because the magnitude is ominous.
But why so many of them?
It just happens to be just the magnitude.
That's the way God planned it?
Not at all.
Well, what happened to them?
There are a lot of issues, and communities are struggling.
Why are they struggling?
A lot of different reasons.
Hispanics have been here, blacks have been here longer than we have been here.
Well, we can surmise.
What about Asians? They were put in internment camps.
Yeah. In fact, it all initiated out of San Francisco. The Chinese Exclusion Act came out of progressive San Francisco.
So are they at the check cashing places?
A lot of Asians certainly do.
Oh, so why don't you include them?
Because then the only reason why is the magnitude of the problem.
But there's no way to figure out how that happened.
We could talk about, you know what I'm dealing with? I don't want to have a sociological debate.
Sure. Why would you? Why would you want to do that? Because the person from the Times wouldn't write good things about you if you did that.
No, that's not the case. Because I want to deal with reality.
You want to deal with reality? I can tell you what reality is.
People are struggling. People are suffering. I want to deal with the problems in a pragmatic way.
Why are they struggling and why are they suffering?
We can hold hands and surmise about all these other reasons.
I don't want to do that. I want to know why they're struggling. Why are they struggling?
A lot of folks are struggling because they can't find jobs.
Why blacks and Hispanics?
Across the board, all socioeconomics.
So everybody is struggling?
Everybody is struggling.
So Asians are suffering just as much as blacks?
The face of welfare is not an African American family.
Oh, so it's Asian, Jewish, it's all of them?
Caucasian.
Okay, we're all struggling.
A lot of folks are struggling.
Okay.
Wow.
Now he seems like an insane person, right?
Yep.
See, if I played me arguing with Gavin Newsom to my mom, she'd go, well, let him finish. You're not letting him talk. He cares about... But if I played her Burt Reynolds and the NPR chick, she'd go, that Burt Reynolds, I never liked him.
Yeah.
He's a nut.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Man, this might be the only time I would ever say this, but I'm glad Burt Reynolds is not around to have flipped the tides and just started talking like an insane person. Because everybody I love is going nuts. Like Robert De Niro's now getting that intro. Like, what's happening to you people?
No, man, Gator would have never gone nuts on us. But Burt Reynolds sounds insane because he brought up a problem and then he has no solutions to it.
Yeah. Oh my God. Can we get AI version of Margot Robbie and Mugshot arguing over who wants to blow you less?
Oh,
yeah.
I would listen to that. Throw Burt Reynolds in.
Yeah, throw him in there too. Why not?
Well, I got to say this. I now am captivated, and I'm going to lend Burt Reynolds' voice to all Gavin Newsom clips.
Ah, it's great. Yeah.
And then I will take my NPR chick and replace my nasally drone because it sounds so much more sensible when she does it.
Where else they gonna go? I don't have a good Burt Reynolds, but I'm just saying that'd be great if you just add that into that conversation.
Yeah, play the first 45 seconds one more time, just because it makes me laugh. And for some reason, the picture, you can go to adamcarolla.com and see it, but.
Half of African Americans in the state of California, roughly half of Latino families have no access to a checking account or an ATM, things we take for granted. They don't have a checking account.
What's wrong with them?
Well, because they don't have the resources to sock those things away.
Why do we have them?
A lot of different reasons, but roughly half those families don't.
Why do Armenians have them?
But where they end up is a check cashing place.
But I want to know, why those groups? Why do those two groups not have access?
Just happens to be that we can talk about...
Are they flawed?
No, they're hardly flawed, but they're struggling.
Genetically flawed?
Hardly. Absolutely not.
Do Asians have this problem?
I mean, a lot of communities have problems. A lot of whites have these problems.
All right.
So it's
so everyone's got problems.
Man, could you imagine if he's on the CB with Snowman giving this conversation and he's like,
God.
dude, I just wanted to get some Coors from Texarkana. Bring it back. Shut your mouth.
Little Enos is giving me the third degree. I'm now in love with... Now, listen. I said I wanted a celebrity to be his voice and celebrity to be my voice, and Joey went, the only AI voice available on the computer is Burt Reynolds. And I was like, not my first choice, but now I'm in love.
Now you're in love with it.
With Burt Reynolds as Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, the lack of options is what really drew your heart to it. I love that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And now it's a familiarity thing.
Yeah.
So, That 70s Show wasn't supposed to be called That 70s Show. They just called it that. It was like a working title. Yeah. And then after 6 months of development, they're like, we're just going to call it That 70s Show.
Yeah. God's got a great way of working things out, and I feel like his power was
with Burt Reynolds.
With Burt Reynolds, yeah.
And I just wanted generic nice chick who sounded logical, so Burt would sound nuts.
Yeah.
All right, you got news?
I sure do got news. We got a girl fight happening. It's between Emma Watson, of course, who played Hermione Granger in all of the Harry Potter films, and the woman herself who authored all of the Harry Potter books, and then, produces and directs and still makes tons of money off of the shows and films and all that stuff. So we have first this video of Emma Watson, apparently for a while now, because there was that rift where HBO was like, no, we're gonna do the Christmas special, but we're not inviting JK. But then I think JK saw so much support just generally, specifically from liberal lesbian feminists in the UK and places changing their laws, that she was no longer considered the underdog. So now HBO is like happy to work with her again. And so Emma Watson for a really long time had been silent on her disagreements with Rowling on the trans issue, and here she is discussing it.
I've just got to this place where it's just, if it costs me any part of my piece, it's just too expensive. And of course, there's opportunities that I think, wow, that would be amazing. And I care deeply about my work. But I think I just used to completely sacrifice myself for whatever the thing was I was trying to achieve. And that could be a grade, it could be a movie, it could be promoting. I just was obsessed with excellence and doing everything, giving my all to everything and doing it to the best of my ability.
By the way, I suffer from all this too. I try too hard. I give about 110%. I'm too good. I'm too focused, and I'm too
too
so
focused.
Let's just put that out there right now. I prepare too much, but all right, that's my fault. And I love too much. Sorry.
Was obsessed with excellence and doing everything, giving my all to everything and doing it to the best of my ability.
Got it. Here we go.
And
what's going on?
Unless you have the right people around you that can hold that kind of level of commitment, you're going to get smashed up. You're just going to get crushed. And so I think now it's just a case of me being like, okay, I know that for me to do anything, I have to have people in the room that care about me more than whatever the product is or whatever the final product is. And if that isn't the case, I cannot be there, because I'm just someone who gives it all. It's how I'm built. And I think understanding that.
All right, hold on a second. Is this a TED Talk on motivation, or is she going to fucking start talking about the subject we're talking about? Or is it just...
I'm about to thank her for coming in for the job interview and let her know we're going to go a different way.
We're going a different way because you're really self-absorbed.
What
when
point are we
your
trying to
pros and
make?
cons.
What point are we making with this
Okay,
stuff?
so apparently...
But how do we arrive on a clip of her just saying she was the most focused person in the room? Wait, now there's another 20 seconds. I want to know.
It was in the same interview where it was in the... So that's Jay Shetty that she's on.
I just want to see the rest, by the way, just because we're completely insane around here. But I do feel motivated if there's any consolation. Let's see.
Of myself and not punishing myself for that, but just knowing it needs certain kinds of conditions is how I've come to hopefully, and it's such a journey and I'll keep doing it forever and probably every day, but accepting myself.
Are you good at accepting yourself?
I don't think one way or the other about myself. I have no thoughts about myself. It's kind of a waste of time. I'm more concerned with how do we arrive on this fucking clip. And what clip are we looking for?
I think this might be the clip that we're looking for.
All right. Well, let's do that one.
There's just no world in which I could ever cancel her out or cancel that out for anything. It has to remain true. It is true. And this is where this like holding of these, I just don't know what else to do other than hold these two seemingly incompatible things together at the same time and just hope maybe they will one day resolve or co-join themselves, and maybe accept that they never will, but that they can both still be true. And I can love her. I can know she loved me. I can be grateful to her. I can know the things that she said are true. And there can be this whole other thing. And my job feels like to just hold all of it. But the bigger thing is just what she's done will never be taken away from me.
Huh?
So she was talking about Rowling there. And how Rowling did so much for her, and how she hopes that she can continue to love people who disagree with her, which is the part of the quote I think most of us could agree with, right? Where you have people in our lives that we disagree with. But the rest of the fluff of like, oh, it's like J.K. Rowling is this bipolar two people thing. Rowling did not like that and is not over the feud, according to our friends over the Daily Wire. She then went on X to post, quote, like other people who've never experienced adult life uncushioned by wealth and fame, Emma has so little experience of real life, she's ignorant of how ignorant she is. I'm seeing quite a bit comment about this, so I wanted to make a couple of points here. I'm not owed eternal agreement from any actor who once played a character that I created. The idea is as ludicrous as me checking with the boss I had when I was 21 for what opinions I should and should not have. I wasn't a multimillionaire at 14. I lived in poverty while writing the book that made Emma famous. Therefore, I understand from my own life experience what the trashing of women's rights in which Emma has so enthusiastically participated means to women and girls without her privileges.
Go get him, girl.
She continues, quote, the greatest irony here is that had Emma not decided in her most recent interview to declare that she loves and treasures me, a change of tack I respect she's adopted because she's noticed full-throated condemnation of me is no longer quite as fashionable as it was. I might never have been this honest. God, even in her ex, like, she's such a great writer.
She's great.
Like, she continues, adults can't expect to cozy up to an activist movement that regularly calls for a friend's assassination, then assert their right to the former friend's love as though the friend was in fact their mother. Emma is rightly free to disagree with me and indeed to discuss her feelings about me in public, but I have the same right and I've finally decided to exercise it.
Very good.
Snap.
All right. You know, I was talking to Drew about this the other day. Prompt wants me to bring it up, but I said to him, you know, I'll tell you who I want to work with. Like, I want to be my publicist. And, you know, you think about publicity, you know, you go, well, Bad Bunny, man, it's going to get a ton of publicity, free publicity from doing all this. But that's a windfall. Okay, that's big. And then you go, yeah, but the guy who came up with, you know, the Coca-Cola logo or the company that came up with the McDonald's song, you deserve a break today. But I'll tell you the person I want to work with. The person, like, it's like,
9 years ago, somebody went, look, here's what we have to do, not only in the United States, but around the world. We have to convince people, and people are like, what? To use margarine instead of butter? No, it's going to be a lot harder than that. To drink Pepsi instead of Coke? No. No, those are easy. To like sign up for the Marines instead of the Navy? No. We have to convince people that men are women and women are men, and men can become women and women can become men. And that person, like if you would have said that to me, I would have went, oh, good fucking luck. Good luck.
Feminists are never going to get on board with that.
We can convince people. I think I could get people to start using this toilet paper instead of that toilet paper, or my canned soup instead of those guys' canned soup. But convincing people, not just in the United States, we're going worldwide with this shit. And God damn it, they got literally half the country to buy into this shit, and they got the other half of the country scared to say anything about it, which is insane, because it's the most insane proclamation ever undertaken. If you went to every Madison Avenue outfit and talked to John Hamm and Mad Men, and he said, here's your job. What, to get them to get Ford over Chevy? No. We need half this country to think a man can be a woman, a woman can be a man, and stuff assigned at birth. It's not given. It's not biological. Okay, that's one half. The other half is the sane half. They have to be scared shitless to talk, or they're going to lose their job in Hollywood. That's like
not just in Hollywood, in corporations,
everywhere.
Like teachers.
This has got to be the greatest undertaking of humanity. This is much bigger than the Hoover Dam or World War II or the Panama Canal. This is the biggest human endeavor ever, to convince people. By the way, 10 years ago, you talk to anyone you know, and they go, what the fuck are you talking about? No, that's my son, that's my daughter. Now shut the fuck up and get out of my house. I don't know what you're talking about. To go from that to, well, he believes and feels like he's trapped inside, and to have the mom nodding her head.
Assigning gender.
Yeah, and the mom's like going, he's right, listen to him. Are you fucking kidding me? We got half the country to do it, and the other half to be so scared they wouldn't talk.
I'd go broader. Half of the world to do it.
Well, yes.
And then the other half of the world
I'm leaving out the Middle East.
Well,
and parts of
definitely
Africa
don't get rights there, so they'd accept men saying they're women before
I
women,
said the world a few times. The Western world.
Yeah.
The Western world. Yep. We have the person that wrote Harry Potter and is responsible for Harry Potter simply explaining a man is a man and a woman is a woman, and women and men shouldn't compete in the same sports. And she's going to be taken out she's going to be erased from the history books and not welcome to the HBO party and everything else. And the cat's going to turn. That's an amazing endeavor. If you think about, like, what are we capable of, people? Because I'm going to say anything. Well, we can't get a bullet train from Fresno to Merced, but
could probably get Carolla on CNN.
Yes.
Yeah.
It could probably get me a weekend show on CNN. So
those people.
It is pretty insane what we were able to do with this project. If you think of it, if you looked at it like a product, like you go, I got a product. What's a product do?
Well, the product is like fear mongering and emotional.
No. The product, but no, the product is just you got to get everyone to say a man is a woman, a woman is a man, or can be, or what. That's the product. But it doesn't clean windows, and it doesn't freshen air, and it doesn't clean your kitty litter box. But that product is that. And we're going to sell this product, and we're going to get everyone to buy in on it. And the ones who don't buy in on it, and, it's funny because when I told this to Drew, he goes, yeah, but a lot of people, they didn't really buy it. They just were scared. And I said, even better.
Yeah.
You got people who disagree with you so fucking scared that they're not going to say anything. That's
Germans during World War II.
That's the ultimate.
Turns out they're culpable as well, though. The people who remain silent.
Oh, for sure. Wait a minute. Germans, World War II?
No, I'm just saying, like, you have, like, people, Bonhoeffer that wrote about this, like, the people during World War II that were like, well, we don't really agree with Hitler.
German citizens.
And the Nazis, they're bad, but we don't want our neighbors to rat us out, so therefore we won't hide Jews and we won't speak up and say anything.
Yeah, we just had our own COVID version of that over here.
Like, people that are now telling me, oh, yeah, I didn't get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
you know.
And it's so.
Or the women, my favorite though right now is some of the liberal hippie ladies I know. They're like, oh, I never took Tylenol while pregnant. I never did anything while pregnant.
The sad
but
part.
If Trump says it, they're posting all over their Instagram and TikTok about how he wants to hurt women and babies, and Tylenol's totally fine.
The sad part is the people who went along with it. You're right. And it's still, if you take a look at it as a sociological experiment, like we're going to look back and go, we converted in a very short time.
So short.
We got everybody to believe something that was clinically insane and fight and threaten people and Congress people. We have people on the Supreme Court ask what a woman is going, I'm not a biologist. I can't answer. It was so
I want to be the highest judicial office in the land, but I don't think I'm qualified to say that a woman has a hoo-ha and different chromosomes.
They were scared. Yeah. That's the beauty of it. We scared everybody into saying something that's insane. But because they were scared of what? Being ostracized by people who have an insane idea?
Yeah, well, losing a job, losing a school, you had doctors and nurses signing on to this crap too. People that are supposed to first do no harm.
I know.
And now it's all going to come.
It's all going to come undone. It already is.
And kudos to JK for saying this. Originally, she had said back in 2024 that she had no plans to forgive Watson or the other two Harry Potter stars who publicly supported transgender rights. She said, quote, celebs who cozied up to a movement intent on eroding women's hard-won rights and who use their platforms to cheer on the transitioning of minors can save their apologies for traumatized detransitioners and the vulnerable women reliant on single-sex spaces.
God love her.
Real feminist right there.
I agree.
Real feminist.
And there's a clip, actually back to Drew. He brought it in. I was looking at him with him today. The clip Drew brought in, Andrew, which is sort of what I was saying is it's in this clip, but the whole movement, it's a grievance movement. It's not like we want this, we want to be treated, we want gay marriage. Then you go, okay, fine, get married. And they go, oh, well, we're moving on to more grievance. It's all fucking grievance. It's all grievance. The black thing is grievance. All the race stuff, all the gender stuff, it's just grievance. And you'll see in this clip, this was someone who transitioned but regrets it. And she'll explain it. He'll explain it. They'll explain it. Someone will explain it. Here we go.
That cause those symptoms. And when you don't appropriately diagnose people, you lead them into a life of ruin. All of these interventions are permanent, they're irreversible, and they lied to me. I want people to know that they're lying to people. They're not diagnosing autogynephiles as autogynephiles. I have friends who medicalized all the way and are self-admitted HEPs who were never diagnosed with the reason they feel this way. They were just transitioned.
Who do you blame for this sort of fast tracking of medicalizing children?
I think after gay marriage was one, there was an empty hole in gay politics. We had gotten everything we wanted, and I think trans jumped into all of the orgs that were associated with the gay community, and they lobbied to make gender identity a protected thing.
All right, you can stop right there, because I always just went, hold on, I thought it was the lesbian and gay community. When did trans take everything over?
So true.
I was at a fucking Starbucks in Malibu yesterday, and they had a trans flag hanging. Well, actually, my girlfriend went in and then came back, and she went, ugh, there's a trans flag hanging. And then I said, what kind of flag was it before it became a trans flag? And she goes, what? And I said, what kind of flag? And she went, no, it's a trans flag. And I went, all right, let's make it a joke. But anyway, forget it now.
Sometimes the people we want to laugh the most just don't.
It was a beach towel. Yeah, come on, I'm a comedian. You got to...
People pay me to do this, woman.
All right. So what they did is they got everything they wanted, and then the trans people showed up and went, we'll take it from here. And
actually undermined everything that members of the gay community did for years.
And it's all there. It's all there as a pushback because they hate their dads and we become their dads. That's all that's going on. Here's what it is. It's basically like you saying... It's like you saying to your stepdad goes, your curfew is 10 p.m., young lady. And then you go, make it midnight. You let me out till midnight and then I'll I'll never complain about anything again. And then they go, okay, midnight. And you go, okay. So I can just come back at midnight? Yeah. Oh. Why wouldn't you buy me a 6-pack of beer? What? No, I'm not going to buy you a 6-pack of beer. You buy me a 6-pack of beer, old man. I hate your guts. And then at some point he goes, fine, I'll get you a 6-pack and you can come back at midnight. Okay.
Now give me a fake ID.
I need heroin. I don't need a fake ID. You buy my beer. I want a fake ID and I want the heroin syringe. And you go, absolutely not. That is crazy. I'm not going to do it. Then you go, oh, really? Fuck you. I hate you. And they go, fine, here's your heroin. Here's your rig, your 6-pack. Don't fake ID. Don't come back. And then you go, okay, I got everything I want. Yeah. I want to borrow your car. No, I'm not going to fuck you then. And it's like, okay, at what point do you just want grievance? You just want grievance.
Actually,
the drag queen story hour, that's just grievance. That drag queen has nothing in it for him, nothing in it for the kids, nothing in it for anybody. It's all grievance. And they hate their dads, and nobody understands this. And they go, just give them the thing and then they'll stop. They won't stop because they're in the grievance business.
And I think the hate the dad thing is so true. I think that so many people, whether they're heterosexual, homosexual, in the trans movement, whatever, that have signed on to this, like to pretend that they're a victim and like to victimize their childhood in the ways that they weren't accepted and loved. And so therefore, when they see a kid that's like, I think I might be a man or I might be a boy, they're like, oh my God, let me help you. The intent might be generous, but the actual result is really horrifically and irreversibly dangerous to that child that they see themselves in, and they're trying to like fix this person that needs to be accepted and loved. And it's really twisted.
And also, and they can be talked in. I mean, obviously, Bill Maher says, how come none of this is happening in Iowa or Wyoming? Why is it all in the coast?
Well, maybe those kids don't have phones and TikTok, but
it's like when you hear what's her name from Sex and the City going, my daughter's transition and my nieces have, everyone I know is transition. It's like, okay, bitch, something's going on. Unless you got a really bad water table, but you drink bottled water. What do you think of this? I'm going to bring this up to you, Dawson, because you're not scared. Alicia's going to be scared.
Oh, God.
But it sounds like it's racial, but it's not. 15, 16-year-olds, a lot of girls, especially being in West Coast, East Coast, Manhattan, Los Angeles, they just get in a clique and they just whatever.
I mean, yeah, this is what Abigail Schreier talked about.
Right.
Whether it's anorexia or transitioning or lesbian, little cliques. Yeah.
How many people in this time period, if you told them, like, is that 16-year-old girl and or boy out here, that same kind of group, you could transition into being a black person, what percentage of them would go for it? I think a lot for where I'm from. A lot from out here.
Well, yeah,
more than sex. They would go for
their
it.
transition to a different ethnicity.
Yeah, they would.
Especially white.
I'm
young
just saying,
white men.
Why
white
wouldn't
dudes
they?
would go to black.
Yes.
And then
they'd be like, sign me up, I'll be Joy Reid.
I'll shave my head, I'll be Joy Reid. And as a dad, I would go, honey, you're 15.
Yeah.
Let's not do this.
Let's not Rachel Dolezal it up.
Yes, I think you'll be 40 and might be unhappy that you did this. So I'm just saying, at that age, a lot of people would do a lot of stuff. Anyway, we're nuts. It's going to go down in history. It'll be about whatever happens to Fauci and COVID in history. It'll be about the same.
I actually hope that there's more ramifications for this.
Oh, I mean ramification, but history's not going to be kind to the assholes that were doing the surgery.
Good.
And then plus, I don't know, you ever see that clip of the woman from Vanderbilt talking about how much money there is in top surgery
and how they're trying to push people in that direction? Like, don't just stop at giving them hormone blockers. Let's make sure that they schedule the surgeries.
Yeah, and she's like, it's $40,000 just for top surgery. It's like, okay, it's business,
breasts?
you ghouls.
You mean giving a child without cancer a double mastectomy?
At a certain point, you become a ghoul.
Yep,
is what I'm saying. You're slaughtering kids. All right, yeah, let's listen to her. Whatever. This is, by the way, this is not a junior college outside of
No,
Tijuana.
This is
Vandy.
Starting in January 1st of 2017, according to the Affordable Care Act, insurance carriers are mandated to cover medical expenses.
Oh, good. Oh, sure. Affordable care.
Some of our UMC financial folks in October of 2016, starting a couple years ago, put down some costs of how much money we think each patient would bring in, and this is only including top surgery. This isn't including any bottom surgery, and it's a lot of money. These surgeries make a lot of money. So female to male chest reconstruction could bring in $40,000. A patient just on routine hormone treatment, who I'm only seeing a few times a year, can bring in several $1,000s. So that requires a lot of visits and labs. It actually makes money for the hospital.
All right. So the point is this. Also,
I don't like to use the B word.
God.
I would apply it to that woman.
Yes.
Like, what a horrific bitch. Like, how many children's lives did she ruin because she could, quote unquote, bring in several thousands of dollars? She's probably making $500,000 a year, being some director of something, and should have her medical license removed.
The bigger part of this time that I find interesting, whether it's this or COVID, is the people who said something about this shit were the ones that were being destroyed.
Yes.
While the left cheered.
We were the anti-science. You know what they're doing now, though? This really pisses me off. NPR, CNN, everybody now, they're not just saying like science, they're saying good science.
Oh, really?
So there are some studies out there that show that, yes, maybe Tylenol during pregnancy ain't great for the baby in utero, or as the left would call it, a blob of cells. But then there are other studies that show here in some of them are European, some are from the United States, saying, no, it's no big deal. It's totally fine, right? So this is where you have now Trump and RFK Jr. have said stuff about it. Literally every single news report on the Tylenol thing and the COVID vaccine thing for children and all these other things, measles, they're big on, is good science. So NPR and CNN are only talking about good scientists. And I'm like, well, then how do you determine who the good scientist is? Is it the people that were transitioning children?
Well, all the good scientists turn out to be wrong during COVID, and all the bad scientists with the misinformation turn out to be right.
Jay Bhattacharya.
And the whole group.
Yep.
All right, one more story, if you got it.
So this is a really sweet, it's bittersweet story. I did not know this about Tim Allen, great guy, the home improvement star, said that Erica Kirk's emotional eulogy at Charlie's memorial service, where she apologized, or where she forgave his assassin, and spoke deeply about her faith, has now inspired him to forgive his father's killer. His father was killed by a drunk driver when he was just 11 years old. Tim said, quote, when Erica Kirk spoke the words on the man who killed her husband, that young man, I forgive him. That moment deeply affected me. He wrote on X on Thursday. I have struggled for over 60 years to forgive the man who killed my dad, and I will say those words now as I type. I forgive the man who killed my father. Peace be with you all.
Oh, well, good. Good for Timmy.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I pray that for Charlie's kids, that they can grow up and forgive the man that killed their dad.
Yeah.
Are you doing more security now?
Yes.
It's scary, isn't it? Just a little bit?
Yeah, I was just talking to Dr. Drew, who was traveling around with Gutfeld.
He has it too.
And Gutfeld's they've got like 3 guys assigned to him when he travels around and stuff like that.
I mean, it's sad that, I do campus speeches. I've always done campus speeches the last 7+ years. And it's like I sometimes request security at events, not for me, but for the students in the audience, for the little old Chamber of Commerce and Republican Party ladies that come out and stuff like that. And I was just at a live action, a pro-life event over the weekend. There's security everywhere. And I think it's less for the A-listers that are there and as much for the audience that's there as well now.
Yeah.
When you go do stand-up now, you need security for you, but also the crowd of people that the left deems dangerous or violent because of your words. It's ridiculous.
I was thinking about Tim Allen's dad being killed by a drunk driver, and in the pantheon of Joe Biden and why we should hate him more, even though we have enough to hate him, there's one that gets forgotten about a lot, which makes you a really bad person, which is his wife was killed by a truck driver. His son, another son.
It was like his 2 young sons, right? Wasn't it?
They survived. I think the wife died, and maybe one died.
But
I think,
the daughter,
whatever.
yeah, it was a child. Yeah.
Tragedy. Okay. The guy driving the truck was not at fault.
Yep.
His wife was at fault. Every time Joe would tell the story, he would say the guy drank his lunch, meaning he was driving a semi-truck.
And blame the guy.
Drunk,
yep.
and blame the guy, which is a despicable thing to do for a guy who was driving and somebody caused an accident and now they're dead. And I'm sure he had to live with that guilt. And his daughter asked Joe Biden to please stop lying about it. It was killing his dad. And Joe Biden kept saying it. That makes him a very bad guy.
Like, so.
It makes him a horrible, horrible guy. And it's also unnecessary. I know you're trying to collect points wherever you go, you know.
Just the fact that you were a young widower is enough, like, sorrow points, right? It doesn't matter who was responsible for the car accident. It's a horrible tragedy.
Yes, you get all your tragedy points without destroying another family's lives. Being immoral. That's exactly right.